Well, that is some music to get.
Woo! All
I feel
right.
like literally everyone watching right now could write the better version of that.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Hey, Cheryl, are we able to see people coming on here just so we see if they're logging in? Or I guess you can on your end, right?
Yeah, I can see people are here watching. Welcome everyone. So excited to have you here. The comments, if you've got comments and questions, I'm going to do a full Q&A at the end. You got to click, if you're watching on the page, you got to click the YouTube link and leave me some comments on the live there. But we'll see all of your comments and questions. And yeah, Chris, this is your audience. Do you want to say anything before we kind of dig in here while people are logging on?
Absolutely. So you guys, I want to introduce you to Cheryl Engelhardt. She essentially is, not only a composer and a songwriter, she does a whole bunch of other, she's had a huge experience in music. She's got her songs in TV and film before, like lots of them. And so, as you know, I always like bringing in people who are really integral to what we do at Sing Songwriter. And the one big thing that you guys could really use and that I thought would be super beneficial that Cheryl is an expert at is one of the things I teach in the Art of the Song Pitch. So I basically have an email template that I use in the Art of the Song Pitch. I talk about how to write emails to reach out to music supervisors, right? So that's a part of the course. Now, that is very centered on one specific type of thing. And there's one template, and then we talk about all that stuff. When I was talking to Cheryl, it was unbelievable hearing, Cheryl, I couldn't believe that you were able to pull in like $20,000 from your small fan base, and you did it not once, you did it more than once. And then you went and toured across Europe, and your fans supported you because they love your music. And why would somebody give you that amount of money, or a collective amount of people give you that amount of money? Well, we all know there's crowdfunding sites, and there's all kinds of ways that you can sort of, get money from people. The trick is what makes certain people able to actually make it happen and finance things, and what makes it so that other people can't or have very little success with it, right?
Yeah.
The big thing is being able to communicate what you're trying to do, to communicate who you are, why you want the money, right? You're asking for money, right? That's like, we all know that's like the BS meter goes on instantly. Like, what do they want money for? And so one of the things that is critical is how you express yourself, how you get yourself across. And so when I stumbled into Cheryl, I was like, wait a minute. Okay, so she's massively successful at this. What's her trick, or what's her angle, or what's her jig, And then, of course, finding out more and more about Cheryl, realized, oh, okay. So she figured out how to do this in a real way, in like not like, I say authenticity, not to be like you sound authentic. It's literally like, I'm an artist and it's coming from an authentic place. But there's an art in how to put these things together, to craft things. The last thing I want to say is that anything you do in life these days, right? Anybody you reach out to, any opportunities that you're going after are mostly centered on the internet these days. Sure, you might apply for a job at your local whatever company, in your town or your city, but there's so much email that goes on. So what Cheryl offers is like basically knowledge of a copywriter. A copywriter is somebody who is really good at writing copy. And that's copy that means it's effective. Copy is essentially in an email. Like if you get an email from somebody, usually marketing and stuff, which is generally a bad word. We don't talk about it in that way here. Marketing is simply a way to get your message out, right? Your message across to people. So the better of a copywriter you are in your life, and I'm not just talking about what Cheryl's going to talk about either. It's outside of all that. It's emails to your friends, to your family, or to convince somebody, to a partner, to do something, or whatever it is. The better writer you are, and the better you're able to express yourself and put your case across, the better in life you're going to be. And I think it's one of the great talents and the great things that people should really have. Go to university, go to college, learn to be a copywriter, because so much is done by email. Anyway, without me going on too much further with this, Cheryl, thanks so much for coming out. You are a real total pro. And I can't wait to hear what you've got to say. So Cheryl's going to be talking about a bunch of cool stuff right here in the webinar. As I mentioned in my email, she also has a course if you want to dive deep and stuff like that. You don't have to take it. You can cut and run with all this free stuff. But trust me, the course is awesome, and consider it an investment in your future copywriting abilities and be able to do all this stuff. So Cheryl, besides having our students be able to reach out and get their music into TV and film with email, and tell me a bit more about, everything that you're doing, and what's this like emailing for 20 grand stuff?
Yeah. So, first of all, Chris, thanks so much for having me, and welcome everyone. And I appreciate the trust. You're like, who's this person we don't know? So yeah, I'm a singer-songwriter and a composer. I got my start in film composing. And really what I learned early on is that the best way to connect with my fans was email. I was that person in college that was like emailing my friends just when email was kind of getting to be like the thing that people did. I'm very old. And I kind of always loved the idea of connecting with people, even if they weren't right in front of me, right? Like I loved performing live, and that's how I grew my list initially, was just from live shows. But being able to connect with them, I knew I was onto something. So I actually did a deep dive and really learned what email marketing was all about. And I learned from a company that taught email marketing from the perspective of selling mattresses. So, and think about it, you buy a mattress like once and then you're good, right? Like you don't like regular, like why would you be on an email list for mattress? So I'm like, okay, if these people can be successful with email marketing, like I can do it with my fans. So that's kind of where I've got 6 records out. The last 2 have hit #1 in their genre on iTunes and Amazon and Bandcamp for weeks and weeks and weeks at a time. That is also thanks to my fans. My fans funded a Billboard magazine ad last year, which was really incredible because I'm sort of going for a Grammy nomination. So that takes some campaigning and ads, and something my fans can't technically vote on if they're not members of the Recording Academy, but they were able to help me get some buzz around it. And so they are part of that game. They're part of what I want. And like you said, Chris, earlier on, it really comes down to being really clear on what it is you want. Because the worst thing in the world, the worst thing for a musician is to say, this is what I want for my career. And to have someone else say, cool, I love that. How can I help? And for you to not have an answer. So you need clarity on not just what you want, but and how to articulate it, but also how can people show up? So when you're asking, how did you raise $20,000 multiple times for different albums with a list under 2,000 people? My answer is, I'm really not trying to be cheeky, but is I asked for it. I asked for it. So that's the trick, is just that clarity and articulation. I'm going to do a deep dive into how I manage my email system. That's really, really been working for me. But that's the nutshell version of it. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's so cool. And I mean, it's not just obviously there's way more to it than just, okay, I asked for it, like, hey, can you give me some cash? Right. I mean, I know you're going to get into that.
Yeah.
But really, I mean, would you say that just to sort of start off, would you say, what's the thing inside you, the impetus of like how to, like, not only to write the email, but what's the thing that you put at the front of the spear of your message? Like, when people first sort of open your email or whatever, what's the theme there? I mean, it's not just saying, hey, I want some cash, right? How does that work?
No. There's a whole journey that I've already taken them on. And when I say them, I mean my subscribers. I don't mean my fans. One assumption that we make is when we get someone to sign up for our email list, we're like, I have a new fan. You have a new subscriber. It's your job through your copy to turn them into a fan. And then they'll turn into super fans by purchasing. So it's your job to actually sell to them. And by selling, I mean, share an opportunity for them to dig into your world a little bit more. And that could look like purchasing merch, buying a ticket to one of your shows, whether it's a live stream or hosting a house concert. When your subscribers turn into fans and then they purchase something, they become customers. And then when they make multiple purchases, they become super fans. So we hear the like, you can do anything with 1,000 super fans. Like everyone wants their super fans, but no one wants to sell. But there's no such thing as a super fan who hasn't bought anything. So we have to get good at selling, which means we have to get good at connecting with them in the first place, so that when we do present the opportunity for them to contribute in some financial way, which is how I actually frame selling in my head, then they're primed and ready and most likely waiting for it. So
Right. So that's interesting. So really, you're not just reaching. That's a little bit like showing up and or running into somebody on the street and saying, "Hey, you want to go out with me? Go out with me," or something like that. Just like that. I mean, it's going to be like, "Hey, okay, who are you? Why are
mhm,
you doing this?" And so your whole process is really about sort of uh, not only warming people up, but getting them to know you better, and
mhm.
and and then them figuring out themselves whether they want to trust you enough to ultimately,
Yeah.
when you do ask for their support. Is that
Yeah, absolutely. And
okay?
it's really funny because you just said something that's so key and like a crux for a lot of people is it's about getting to know them, which means you have to be willing to be known. And a lot of artists, we put our music out there, like our music is the heart on the sleeve sort of thing. But I know a lot of musicians. I mean, I run a monthly membership and it's over 200 musicians, and 75% of them, we ran a poll, consider themselves introverts, which means you kind of don't want to go out there and put yourself out there and like do anything other than release the music in that, because that's how we communicate is through our music. So this email stuff, I've sort of figured out how can we, like you said, be authentic without forcing it. Like, oh, I have to
Mhm.
force myself to like write an email. I don't have any news. What should I possibly say? Like, so we handle all of that. So there's no stress. It takes a little bit of setup time. And then it's like you're off to the races and you're building these relationships. You could go on tour, you could get kidnapped by aliens, and like it's all working for you in the background. And it's very empowering to know that that system is there. It's one of the most underutilized systems that will most directly make you money as a musician, I think. That's just my opinion. Yeah. So, Chris, you look like you might have frozen. I'm not sure. Are you there? Maybe he got kidnapped by aliens, y'all. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig in. I've got this little presentation. I'm a visual person, so I like slides. I talk quickly. You have a worksheet that goes with this. I'll cover most of it. I want to definitely jump around. I want to get to your questions as well. But I'm going to dig into this, Chris, if that works for you, to pop you off and pop my slides on. Is that cool? Okay, cool. I saw a nod.
um, Absolutely, I want to learn all about this too, so
Okay, cool. I'm going to
yeah,
pop
we're
Chris off.
good.
Well, I'll bring you
Yeah.
back on at the
Yeah,
end.
I'm breaking up
I'm
a
going
little bit, sorry.
Okay, cool. Patty says, yep, he's frozen. So thanks, Patty. So, all right, we're going to, we'll pop Chris off and then we're going to pop on my slides, and I'll keep me up just because why not? There we go. So you should be able to see a little slide that says how I made 20K from a 2K list with Cheryl B. Englehart. That is me. Okay, so we've done. Can everyone see that? Just type, if anyone's on the chat, just type in yes to make sure that everyone can see it, because I want to make sure that we're all good here. So I'm Cheryl. Chris just gave me a fabulous introduction. I really appreciate it. I'm a musician, a composer, and a songwriter, and I did tour for years. I don't tour anymore. I mean, I know not a lot of people are touring anymore, but I grew my list while I was touring, and then everyone has sort of hung around, and there's a reason for that, and I'll get into that. So we're going to get a little techie. You've got a worksheet. The replay is the same link. You can come back to this link is not going to disappear, so don't worry that I talk super fast. I'm just trying to cram. I know that you want to go write songs and do way more interesting things than talk about email, but it is super important. So I'm really, really glad that you're here and that you're honoring this for your career. So thank you everyone that told me that the slide's up. Okay, so this is my mission today, that I will provide the easiest, and I swear to God, it's the easiest way for an artist, regardless of where you are in your fan gathering process, to have a supportive, engaged, profitable email list. And I'm going to get into a really cool statistic that you guys are going to love and show how to create more money and or results, because sometimes money isn't the goal, from that list than any other element of their music career. So this connects to licensing, this connects to touring, this connects to absolutely everything. Like Chris said, there's a huge copywriting element. And even if you're like, oh, I hate sitting down and writing emails, when you know the why behind it and what the result can be when you're doing it correctly, because there is a right and a wrong way to do email, then you're going to be super empowered. So I'm on a mission today to share this, which is fun. So today, quickly, we'll cover the biggest email mistake you're probably making. And I can't help myself. I don't want to actually wait to that. It's sending newsletters. I'm just going to say it right now. Okay. So if you get nothing out of this talk other than this, never send another newsletter. And to me, A newsletter is that thing that has the graphics, and then you say, I have a video out, and then you have a graphic of the video, and then you're like, but I also have a song out, and I have new merch, and here's this other thing, and I'm in this contest, will you vote for me? And there's like 90 different things, and people are scrolling and scrolling for days. We don't do newsletters anymore. We are in a society where Instagram, Facebook, everything it's one picture, one caption. We are in a single focused content realm right now, and newsletters are not part of that. They're totally not part of that. So we've been trained to see one thing and absorb one piece of information, and a newsletter gets so confusing, people will not take action on anything. We think that it's kind of like an update, so we're never going to send newsletters again. Okay, consider newsletter a 4-letter word. Great. Speaking of 4, we're going to talk about 4 easy things you can do this week to select. These are the 4 sections of things I'm going to talk about. Select your email strategy, expand your list, connect with that list, and collect from that list, aka monetize it. And I say collect because for some people, like I said, it's not necessarily about money. It's maybe collecting more followers for streams. It might be a specific goal. So we just say collect. It would be really cool if that was an acronym. It is not. It's not cool. All right, moving on. We're also going to talk about the opportunity to master this email thing if you want to do the deep dive like Chris mentioned. So, and I'm also going to show you how to make a huge change for your music career by having that relationship with your fans. And I'm distilling this, you guys, this is literally thousands of hours I spent on this topic. Like, I am an Uber dork, and Uber dorks maybe are not the people that you want to go out to a bar with on Friday nights, but they are the people you want to learn email marketing for musicians from. So at your service. Here we go. So you're in. There are a lot of people that have done this training, so you are not alone. I have tested this. I had a jingle I was going to play. I've already talked about myself. You don't need to see it. I have all these records out. I've done the TV commercial thing, not a ton, but like, 40, which is enough to get the process and understand that you need to be good at copy in order to pitch. I've toured all over the place. And like I said, I fan funded 2 of my records for $20,000 each with a fan list of under 2,000. That's the title of this webinar. My fans funded a billboard ad. They also got me #1 on iTunes, Amazon and Bandcamp. I can't say those together. I'm also a composer. I've done dozens and dozens of scores for College Humor, dozen documentaries and short films, a bunch of commercials. My most favorite one is Honey Nut Cheerios commercial with the grumpy cat. And I also write for social justice choirs, choral music, and I am co-writing a Broadway musical. So I do a lot of stuff. This was in Greece 2 years ago, right before the pandemic. I recorded an album. I went to France right after that and did this really cool choral festival I composed for. Here are auditions for the workshop of my musical. I spoke at the CD Baby conference before pandemic, and I also run this mastermind called Amplify, which is a monthly membership for musicians. So I'm busy, y'all. I'm super busy. But when I met Chris and I was like, yeah, we have things that we should talk about that not a lot of people are talking about. So let's do it. So in my life, the reason I'm able to do a lot of things and feel really excited about everything I do, I'm very in love with my life, y'all. Like, I'm not stressed out about the fact that I have a lot of stuff to do. I love it. And that's by design, because I had this clarity, because I have a connection with people I need to have connections with. And that includes my fans. And I'm really, really good with my communication. And that connects right back to clarity. So they're all tied in. I'm also a mind reader. So for those of you here that are thinking, I've tried to get a handle on email before, how will this training be any different? My guess is that you might have seen like marketing emails, or you might have read a blog post on like how to write a good newsletter. I don't need to tell you what was wrong with that, right? Okay. So I've got you here. Maybe you thought I hate selling. I mean, I've thought this, so I know that you thought this. So there you go. Why are you sharing this with me? If you're a real musician, to you, I have a gesture, but I'm not going to share it. No, I'm a teacher at heart. I was raised by teachers. I love sharing what I've learned. I've had amazing mentors in my life. So this is just, I get asked a lot of like, well, how did you get this success? And it would be selfish of me to not say, well, this is what I did, and this might work for you. And I've actually learned other techniques to help you. So that's why I'm here. And I don't want to bother my subscribers with emails. Have you had that thought? I don't want to bother them. Who am I? Like, put the letter B in the chat box if you're on the YouTube chat. If you're a bother person, like you're really really hyper aware of sending too many emails, of selling, of like, you don't want to be a burden or bother. Those words come up a lot. So give me a B. I don't have time to put into my email. I'm just here to listen. Totally great. You're going to get something anyway. You're going to not, you're not going to be able to forget it. It's going to be great. So here's what an email list gives you. It gives you connection through your content. We talked about that. Accountability. They want to see you succeed. So you're not alone, right? I actually use my email list as my accountability team. I say something out loud and in the email that's out loud. And then I feel like I have to follow up on it. Like I said, I want to get on the Billboard charts. It took me 2 weeks to send that email to my list that I wanted to get on the Billboard chart and what that means. And I had to explain to them what that meant because a lot of them were like, I don't need, cool. That sounds cool. What's Billboard? And it's a sales chart, right? So I had to talk to them about what platforms that, so there was an education element, but it took me a while to actually say that I wanted that because all of the, what if I don't get it? What if I look stupid? Blah, 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 you know, that comes into play. Also, your email list will reveal your super fans. They will show themselves through your email. It's kind of like sharing airline points or supporting your fan funding efforts and buying merch, which I have requested of my fans. I actually wrote an email to my fans saying, I got invited with my band to go to Switzerland. Does anyone have unused airline points or miles or whatever and want to share us? And we were able to fly 3 out of 4 of us to Switzerland for free because people were like, yeah, I'm not going to use these, or I have these from work. And those people are the super fans. They become invested in the process, in you, in your music. Cool. I see you on my B's over there. Yeah, and they'll help you achieve your goals, especially when you're clear on them. Okay, so don't worry, I got you. This feels like it can be a really complicated topic, emailing and techie and all that stuff. It's not. We're going to break it down. Okay, so email to me. Let me tell you about email to me. I first learned that email was a really cool way to be yourself from Sarah Bareilles, who is a friend of mine from 1,000,001 years ago. And she used to send out the funniest emails. I got so sad when she got on the record label because they just stopped sending emails. This is us when we were babies. But she would be funny and hilarious. And she really taught me that you can be yourself anywhere, whether it's in front of one person or 10,000. So I was like, all right, she's onto something. So I decided to go learn more. And so I got literally certified as an email marketing specialist in 2018. And I'm a super dork about it. And no one in the music industry is doing email the right way. Record labels are sitting on a gold mine if they were to actually take on email the way we're about to talk about it. So y'all at the end of this are going to be you're going to have such a leg up, and you're going to get a chance to teach your fans how to be really great fans, which is just good for the entire indie community. So you're here doing a service. It's great. All right. So, by the way, all these, I've spoken about email, like all these, I've like hosted panels and moderated panels on email and tech and like platforms, and all these people think I'm cool. So anyway, Chris introduced me to you. You don't need any more proof. So let me break down my process and then we're going to get into it. I already said this, but you turn your subscribers into fans through your email. You can also do this at live shows, and there's other ways to sort of get someone who might be curious or wanted a free thing, so they signed up, or they came with a friend. There are those people that show up, and you can really nurture them into becoming fans. But email is the easiest way to turn a subscriber into a fan, a non-fan into a fan. Then we turn our fans into super fans. Super fans is where the money is at. Okay. It's very linear. For those of you that are like, I want this action and then this action and then this action, like, yes, that is what we're doing. Who are my linear people? Put an L in the chat box. Who are like, I just need to know the path and what to do next, because you're my people. Also, this works. This has been proven. I've got like 400 other people that are doing exactly this process that I'm going to teach you today. So you're in good hands here. So the odds are in your favor, which is always a nice thing, especially in the music industry where it's very unpredictable. So these are things that other musicians are saying. You can screenshot this and read it later, but people love this stuff. All right, ready? So I was a biology major at Cornell University. I'm a scientist in my bones, and I like evidence. I like evidence. Ready? I'm gonna pound you with some evidence, and I see you, my evidence people, because I created this because I wish I had it 12 years ago when I was touring and trying to connect with fans after the tour. After they said, "I love your album. How can I connect with you? Can I buy it?" Like, and then they got crickets. It's like, we're expecting them to do all the work. No. It's our careers. We have to do the work. So here's one more thing I'm going to say. I'm busy, and you're going to like this next slide. this is what I could be doing right now. I could be cuddling with these guys, but I'm here with you. So all I ask, these are my dogs. This is Enzo and Winston. They're downstairs being very good boys. All I ask is that because you're going to get my best, is that you give me your best, which means I would turn off your phone and like close Facebook because this is really valuable stuff. And we're only here for like another half an hour, I swear. 35 minutes. So don't just sit there and let this stuff wash over you. Although if you do, you will get something, I promise. I'm going to give you actual things to do that's going to make a huge difference. So if you're just like, yes, I'm going to do it, like it's going to be easy. This is way easier than trying to figure this stuff out on your own. I promise. I would be sad if we met in 3 months or 6 months or whatever, and you were like, I love the webinar, but I didn't do any of the things you suggested. I would probably cry. So don't do that. Are you ready? Buffalo Bob is ready. I love that. Thank you. So will you do what it takes to get your email list handled? Just say yes. Just say yes. You're like, but I don't know what it takes. Just trust me. Remember, it's connection, income, accountability. This is what you get from your email list. So the first thing I need you to do is decide, what does success look like for you? What does success look like for you? This is different for a lot of people. It can be financial. It can be numbers related. There's no such thing as a vanity number. If you want 1,000 followers on Spotify and that's going to light you up and give you momentum to do something else, then like go get 1,000 followers on Spotify. Like people say vanity numbers are a thing. And I'm like, none of it gets you moving. So it could be 500 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers, 10 personal replies to any email you send. Like you can create any goal around email so that it really lights you up. You could have your list showing up when you have a new record, and pre-saving and pre-buying your singles, showing up and filling your shows, dozens of fans subscribing to your Patreon page every month. What if that happened? Like think about that. What if that happened? Right? Like that would be awesome. And instead of trying to post 20 times on Facebook and Instagram and hope that it happens, like email is the way to actually directly get it to happen. Like it happens. So cool. Okay. What would be possible if this success happened for you? This is you're creating your why here. This is like why we even get into email in the first place. So let me give you some statistics here from evidence people. I'm going to throw all of these up on the screen here so you can take a screenshot. I'm going to read the ones that are my favorite because these are a lot of statistics, but people are like, oh, email's an old thing. First of all, it's not. It's like a horseshoe crab. Remember I told you I was a scientist, right? Marine biology in particular. Horseshoe crabs have not evolved in millions of years because they are perfect. So email is still here because it has figured itself out. And if you're like, oh, well, my audience is young, they're not on email, they're only on social media. Guess what? You need an email to sign up for social media. Okay, so everyone has email. 58% of us check email before any other social media platform, including the CEO of Facebook. She checks her email before she checks Facebook. We're going to talk about one particular statistic that's buried in here. But here's one. For every $1 spent on email marketing, $44 is made in return. So that means if you sign up for an email platform, that's $150 a month to host your email. That will times you $44 in return. Oh my gosh, the numbers are true. 73% of millennials identify email as their preferred means of business communication, by the way. Okay. And then I'm going to say this last one. People who say their goal out loud to someone else are 39% more likely to achieve it. And people who share regular updates are 76% more likely to get it. Now you may be like, wait, what does that have to do with email? But when you're sharing those goals and your updates with your fans, look at those percentages. If you told me, hey, you have a big goal, here's one thing you need to do a week to make it 76% likely to come true if you do nothing else. I would totally do that. So this is what email does. All right, so screenshot this. You can read all these if you're an evidence person and you want more statistics, just read that later. But this is the fact I like to focus on. For every one subscriber that you have, you can be making $1 per month when, and only when, you're doing email correctly. The actual statistic is you can be making $1 to $2 per month. And this is across different industries, including the music industry. And this is true for everyone that is doing email correctly. So let's do some math here. If you have 1,000 subscribers, that's $12,000 per year. $1 per subscriber per month. If you have 5,000 subscribers, that's $60,000 per year you'll be making. And it doesn't mean that every subscriber is giving you $1. It could mean that one subscriber gives you $100 and 99 subscribers don't do anything. But the statistic is true. $1 per subscriber per month when you're doing email correctly. So spending $100 on an ad to get people to sign up for your email list, or spending money on a good platform that's really, really easy is not going to. I just popped off. It's okay. We're back. So this is my A who shared with me in my Rock Your Email course. She said that a non-friend, non-relative donor, which is so cute because you guys, that's a fan. A non-friend, non-relative donor is funding $10,000, 55% of the estimated budget for my new record. And that's from an email list of only 300 fans, she told me. Y'all, people show up when you know what you want. Super cool. All right, so we already said you're going to do what it takes, right? Cool, cool, cool. We're all on board that email is valuable, because if you're like, why is email valuable? We have to go back to those slides on the stats. So I don't want to do that. I want to keep moving forward. So I'm just going to assume that everyone's like, yep, email's cool. We know that email is 5 times more likely to be seen over social media posts. You're going to get 140 times return on email, and you 100% own it. Y'all, what is 2-3 weeks ago when social media shut down? I had a big announcement to make that day, and everyone was like freaking out. And I was the president of the I'm not freaking out because social media shut down club, because I just was like, okay, I'll just send an email to my fan list. And then they got the cool news. So that's a good club to be a part of. Oh, and there are 4.9 billion email addresses, and Facebook is only 1/3 of that. And I already said you need an email to sign up for social media. So we're clear, right? We're all clear. We're moving forward. Cool, cool, cool. Repeat after me. I am a master of email. You could leave right now and you already have more things than you knew before. Like there's no newsletters. Okay, I'm a master of email. Okay, you need to want a list, y'all. This is for artists. This is for anyone that wants to connect with human beings. Cool. And you need to want connection. It may be scary. You may be resisting it, but you need to ultimately want it, which I think is at the core of a lot of what musicians do. And you want to be here for the long haul. Email is a long-term game. I have people on my list that have been on my list since I started, which was 2004. Told you I'm old. All right. So I'm going to show you how to run a well-managed list. Cool. This is what we're covering today. Select, expand, connect, collect. So let's start with select. We want to select your strategy. This is kind of what we've been doing, thinking about what do we want and what's the plan, right? And then we need to select our technology. This can be a big block for people. So if you're someone that's like, ugh, the tech gremlins, like run the show over here, we're going to handle them. Handle the tech gremlins. So first, in the strategy department, we just want to know, what is that ideal career? What do we want to be doing day to day? Who is our ideal fan? Who are we talking to? And what's the journey that we want to take them on? And what's the journey we want to go on? Because we're going on it together with our fans. Okay, cool. So this is the work you all need to do. And this is on your worksheet. What would your dream career look like? We're not going to take time to do this now. This is like journaling, light a candle, do this later. What would be the same as now? This is a good way to think of this. And then what would be different, right? And then what's the day-to-day? What are you doing from day to day? What are you doing from month to month? And don't worry about how to get there or money. A lot of the how can stop people from even dreaming. So I want you to just actually dream, and a lot of stuff will open up for you. So if you don't know the answer, your fans definitely don't know the answer. If they don't know what you want for your career, they're not going to know how to show up. They're not going to know what to do. So you need to know this. You need to know this. You need to know this. Okay, cool. You deserve to know it. All right. So what's it gonna take to close the gap? So when you think of where you are now and where you want to be, like what's missing? That's a great, great, great question. What is missing? Closing the distance between where you are now and where you want to be is my superpower. So we look at strategy, we look at what do we have already? Who do we have at our fingertips? Who do we need to have? Filling in the gap is very, very clutch to getting exactly what you want. And then also articulating to your fans. All right, so these are the things you got to figure out. Your avatar is sort of like the marketing fancy smancy term for your ideal fan. It is not a tall, skinny blue person. Your ideal fan, your avatar, is the person you talk to in your emails. Here's another like gold nugget. If you are someone who writes emails and it's like, hey, y'all, how's it going? I'm so glad everyone came out last week to the show. You're talking to a crowd, right? On email, you want to be talking to one person. Even if they know it's from a list, it's like, it's going to a bunch of people. You want that email. Email is a one-to-one interaction thing. That you want them to feel like they're getting an email from a friend. So you need to know who are you talking to? Who's that ideal fan that language is really going to resonate for? That's who you are writing to. Okay. You can't please everyone. Remember that. And we need to have a niche. You can't say my ideal fan is anyone from the age of 15 to 97. And like that doesn't work because your language is going to be really different if you're talking to a 15-year-old than to a 97-year-old. So you need to figure out if you had a room of 1,000 people and they were all clones, who would that ideal fan be? Right? You want to look at active fans of musicians like you. So follow other musicians that are similar to you and see what are their fans doing? What are they talking about? What are they commenting on? What's important to them? You can sort of start to get an idea of who that ideal fan for you is. You want to get specific and you want to do that research, right? So this is all part of setting yourself up for having really clear communication in your copy, which we're going to get to. All right, let's talk. I don't know why this. Okay, so here's my little graphic. You're going to see this a couple times. The pink people at the bottom, those are people that don't know you yet. And then for some reason, they see an ad or a friend tells them about them, or they're interested in your free thing that you're going to give away. They become a subscriber. Then they become a fan through your email. Then they purchase something, they become a customer, even if they just purchase a 99-cent download. Then they purchase again and they start sharing, they become a super fan. And then you have these people that are telling their friends about you, and the cycle can continue and you can keep that growth going. Growth is interesting to me in the music career. Growth is important to have it set up so it's a system of growth, not something you have to constantly always go out and get. All right, let's talk about technology very quickly. There are 3 kinds of platforms that host your email service. You cannot legally just send an email from your Gmail to all of your contacts. They have to be able to unsubscribe legally. So that is done through an email platform. You've heard of a lot of these, I'm sure. MailChimp, Constant Contact, Kajabi. The basic platforms are the ones that are built into websites. Like Bandzoogle has a very basic email capture. You can create the list. You can send out emails. You are not able yet, I know they're working on it, but you're not able to automate, which we'll talk about in a second, meaning schedule ahead of time emails to go out. But that's a basic. It's very, very easy to incorporate that. And Wix has one, like other basic website builders have that available. A designated technology platform is one like MailChimp, Constant Contact, Aweber, all of those that are designed. They are just and exclusively a email platform to host your email list and to send out emails. And then there's advanced, and these are called CRMs, and they are like HubSpot and Infusionsoft, and they do more robust things. There's a lot more options and bells and whistles. They are more expensive. So I'm a big fan of Kajabi. People are like, which do you recommend? Kajabi is sort of an all-in-one. You can host your website as well as your email list, and you can have digital products. Like I have a membership for my fans. It's called the Seekers membership, and it's a great platform. So that's just my recommendation. There's MailChimp, there's a million of them, but here's the thing. The best platform for you to host your email list on is the one that you will use. The one that you will use, learn, and love. So if you already are on a platform and you already know how to use it, then that is the best platform for you for the moment. Now, there's always reasons to change down the line. I get into that in Rock Your Email List. It's not something we need to discuss now. You just need to get going and watch a couple YouTube videos and really become a master at that tool. Cool. Okay. So let's quickly talk about these 2 words because we hear these a lot. Automated, broadcast. Okay. So automated is you do the work up front and then you leave it. It runs on its own. It's based on the subscriber's behavior. So the subscriber's behavior triggers when an email sends. For example, someone signs up for your email list, that triggers that subscriber to receive their first welcome email, which we'll talk about in a minute. So it's based on their behavior. They click on something. They might get an email saying, hey, you clicked on this. Are you interested in this piece of merch? Maybe they clicked on a hat and they didn't purchase it. You can send a follow-up email that says, hey, I saw that you clicked on this, but you don't actually have to send it. You just have it set up because it's automated. Okay. And there are ways to get personal. Like I just said, you can actually see what they're doing, what they're interested in, and then cater your copy to that. You talk to them as one person, which I'm going to say several times throughout this talk. And you can use merge tags. Merge tags are a techie way of saying you actually can call them by their first name automatically. When they sign up and they give their first name and their email, which are the two things I suggest you collect, is just the first name and just the email, then your platform has that first name as a merge tag. And you can say, hey, first name, and it will show up as, hey, Bob, hey, whoever, right? So there are ways to use your automation to get personal, which it feels counterintuitive. You're like, it's automated. I'm not even touching it. You can still have that personal experience, even though you might have gone on vacation to Mars. Okay, broadcasts are one-time email. This is kind of when you think of a newsletter that you send out, you write and then you send it and it goes once. This is what a broadcast is. Broadcasts are not a bad thing the way newsletters are. You can send a one-time email. The email sends on your timing. So let's say I've got a deadline, like my album's coming out on Friday. For anyone that has a release coming up, you can send a one-time email saying my album's coming out on Friday. Would you pre-save this on Spotify or whatever the request is? That's not something that you would have regular in your automated system, because this Friday, if they were to get it next week, would then be outdated. So this is a timing thing for you. You can repurpose these emails, these broadcasts, take out the time sensitive things, and you can actually put it into some of your automated series, which we'll talk about later. This is sort of repurposing content, which I'm a big fan of. But yeah, that's what broadcast is, and that's what automation is. So you want to look for a system that has the ability to automate. MailChimp used to have that in their free package, and now you need to pay for it. They keep changing their model. It's very confusing, but some of you might be familiar with their automation. I'm going to say this again. The best platform for you to host your email list is the one that you will use, learn, and love. So for those of you who are like, what about this platform? What about this platform? What about this platform? Like, I don't know. Do you know how to use it? If you know how to use it and you love it, then it's the platform for you. All right. So that's what you need to select first. You need to sort of select what you want for your career, and you need to select the platform and the technology that you're going to use to really utilize this tool. All right. So now let's talk about growing your list, expanding the list when you've got, beyond your mom. You want to give them something. And we can do this online and in person, offline, at shows and, in actual in person. We'll talk about that. So let's talk about the gift. What do you give them? So you're not going to say, will you join my list? You're going to say, I have something to give you. Where should I send it? Right? So you never again, here's another golden nugget that you take away today. You'll never again say, will you sign up for my newsletter? Will you sign up for my email list? These are words we don't say in my orbit. I have something for you. Where should I send it? That's what we say. You can say things like, and y'all, you can just rip this copy. This is literally what's on my sign up page. You'll be part of my online world, and I'll keep you in the loop with stories, releases, and other fun stuff via email. Cool? Cool. Things like that. You want to be real with them. You want to actually tell them what it is, but you don't need to be newslettery. Talk about it. You were like, what's your strategy for growing your list? Talking about it. This is what my webpage looks like. Free songs. I give away a bundle of songs because I have got a bunch of albums. So it's one song per album. And it's where should I send it? Social media. There's a Facebook page. You should have it in the sign up. You see this little sign up right there? That goes right to that sign up page. In your email signature, if this is the thing if this is your goal right now, your number one goal is to grow your email list, then the link to the page where people can sign up for your email list should be everywhere, right? You can run Facebook ads. You can do a cross partnership with another artist who's growing their email list and say, hey, fans, here's an artist that I really love. You should go get their free song. And then they can do the same thing for you. That's a great way to get like Insta fans, right? Is cross promote with another artist. Talking about it, networking events, especially on, if you're on Zoom, you can put create a short URL and put it in place of your name or next to your name. Live shows and live streams. Of course, you should always talk about this on live shows. Don't be weird about connecting with people later. Make it easy. So put a link in the comments and the description of your show. Text to opt in. You can do that at live shows. You can get cards made if you're doing something in person. You can have a book or an iPad at a merch table. I loved having fans be the person in charge of getting email signups because first of all, they'll be way more annoying than you have to, and they're going to want to impress you. So of course you want to have a fan going around the room and collecting emails for you. I used to play the game of trying to get 50% of people in any room to sign up for my email list. So it's fun to set goals like that. Share link, etc. You can run a contest real time. Like if you sign up for my email list, this is great for live shows if you're in person. Anyone that's signed up for an email list, I'm going to pick a name randomly off of the list before the second to last song, and you get to come up on stage and win a sweatshirt or sing the song with me or something, right? Like you can do anything that is a giveaway, or you get a free CD. It's really, really fun to do that. And people are like, where's the list? I want to get my name on that list, right? Good idea. Okay. I talk about expanding in different ways to grow your list for I can talk about it for days, and I've got a huge section of that in Rock Your Email List, but I want to keep going here. Connecting. And yes, I see when you say free songs, you give away something for free. And I talk about this process, how to set that up and get people to receive a free thing. And it doesn't have to be exclusive. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It's just a gesture. It's really just a gesture. And the whole, people don't listen to MP3s. It doesn't matter. It's saying, I honor your email and I don't take that lightly. Here's something I created to give to you. So it can be a zip file. It can be a free song. It can be exclusive. Here's the thing. You need to remember, you guys, I can go down these rabbit holes and talk forever. So I keep needing to point back to the course, but you've got to remember that they're not yet fans, most likely. So giving them a behind the scenes making of an album that they haven't even heard yet, they're not invested in you yet. So you want to make the thing that you give them very easily consumable, meaning it's like a PDF or I really do think an MP3 is the easiest thing and is most likely to get them to get to know you a little bit better. But you don't want it to be a long video. You don't want it to be a book that they have to read. You want it to be something that they can easily consume, get, learn, all that stuff. It could be an exclusive track. I think that's a cool idea if they're going to be interested in that. But you can save stuff like that for your fans later. It makes for a great nurture series, which we'll talk about in this section. But great question. Okay. I'm going to take all the questions at the end too. So I will stay as long as you have questions. All right, so let's talk about series. So remember we talked about automation? You can create a variety of different series based on wherever they are in their journey. So not everyone will be in the same place in that subscriber journey. Someone may sign up January 1st, someone else may sign up March 3rd. So what are you going to do in between the time that someone signs up and when you actually have something you want to share? So this is where we get into automated series. This is emails that you've pre-written that are triggered to go at a certain time based on them, on the subscriber. So there are three main series that I like to talk about: the welcome series, the nurture series, and the rise series. In Rock Your Email List, I call it the commencement series. These are also known as campaigns, and they're a group of 4 to 6 emails that are sent out either every few days or once a week or once every 2 weeks, which can be the case for nurture series. It depends on the series. Each series serves a different specific purpose. Each series serves a specific purpose. Say that 10 times fast and I'll be impressed. To deliver value, to connect, and to make a sale. Okay? They're different purposes. So let's talk about the welcome series, which I also call the commencement series. I'm going to tell you all my series. These are all of the series I talk about in Rock Your Email List. So the rise series is where we raise them from a fan to a super fan or to a customer. So those are the selling series. And you can sell merch, vinyls, CDs, singles, Spotify follows, Patreon, membership sites. There's a ton of stuff that you can create in rise series. And by the way, in Rock Your Email List, I have over 40 templates of different rise series ready to go. You just put your links in. There are also holiday series that are specific. You have to set them to go based on whatever time of year it is. Maybe you have a more spooky sounding thing and you've got a Halloween thing. I have a client who's literally released a Halloween CD, which is so fun. Especially for those of you that do Christmas CDs and Christmas music. That's a really, really big thing as well. Love songs for Valentine's Day. You can always create series around holidays. Re-engagement. So this is a series for people that have not been engaging with you. They haven't been opening your emails, and you want to get them back in because you don't want people that aren't engaging with you on your list. It actually is bad for the list's health, which means how well your emails are getting delivered. Like, does the internet think you're spam because so few people are responding to your emails? So a re-engagement series is a really good way to get people up and excited about your emails again. Purchase series. So once they have purchased, how do you keep them going? It's like, well, they already bought. That's like the end of the line, right? No, it's not. There are ways to still engage with them and have them become even more invested, maybe not monetarily, maybe in sharing on their socials. And so there's a whole series around purchasing. We're going to talk about welcome series, nurture series very quickly here. The commencement series or the welcome series is the most opened email series that you will ever send. The job of the very, very first email that they ever get right after they sign up is to set the tone and the expectations of being a subscriber. This is the most opened, highest open rate email you'll ever send. So this is what mine looked like for a while. So there are 4 things in here. It's on the right column. Don't worry about reading my actual email. It's in my voice. But the first thing is a reminder. You're going to literally remind them that they just signed up for this. Like, thank you for following my music career. Like, oh, that's this thing I signed up for 5 minutes ago. Cool. Then you're going to say, here's what's to do next, which most likely will be to download the thing you're giving them. And then you can give a little 1 or 2 sentences about who you are. You don't want to give a life story, that you want to save that content for a nurture series. Don't give it all away in the first email, but you're going to request for them to do something else. This is the rare occasion where I say it's okay to have 2 links in one email that go different places. You'll want to say, I say, please feel free to browse my website. I think in my current one, this is a little bit older. I update it all the time, but I say, follow me on Instagram. Here's the thing. When they click on that follow Instagram, you just train them to click on your email, to click on your links. And that when they go click on your link, it goes to the right place because you want to check your links, right? So you've just literally subconsciously trained them that they engage with your emails. And then the last thing is what to expect. So you literally say, I'm going to send you more emails. I'm going to tell you stories. I'm going to give you opportunities to contribute. Like, tell them you're going to sell to them. Then when you do, they're not like, wait, what? I'm getting sold to? They're like, oh yeah, she said she was going to do this. No big deal. And then, of course, the button at the bottom. One of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of musicians do is like, hey, thanks for signing up. Here's your free thing. And you lose this huge opportunity to actually set up their expectations and set the tone and let them learn your language, how you talk. They're going to get the free thing. So, of course, they're going to scroll down and read the email to get to the free thing. So that's why you want the button way at the bottom. They will get there. Okay, cool. That's your welcome email. So important. Nurture series. Nurture series is after they've gotten the welcome email and in between when you have big projects, right? If you've got a CD coming out, you don't want them to be going through nurture series. You really want to be in promotion mode. But in between projects, after you've sold something and you're like, what do I talk about now? Send them through nurture series, because the job of a nurture series is to move the subscriber along the journey, and you can get set up for 1 year. If you write 30 emails, and you put them into little groups of 5, like stories. And I dig real deep into how to actually manage this and create an outline for your nurture series and rock your email list. But you can send those emails every 2 weeks and you'd have content for a year. You're telling your story, you're sharing little anecdotes about how you created some songs, you're shining lights on other musicians, maybe your bandmates. There's tons of way to create content and how to organize it in between when you've got other things to promote and sell. So nurture series are absolutely key in getting people to be fans from when they are just subscribers. I can talk about nurture series forever too. They're so important. And they are sort of the thing that's hanging out here. This is what a nurture series is. Okay. So here's how a nurture series works. And I'll talk about Rise series in a second. Rise are really like the selling and the promoting series, but this is what a flow looks like. So we're starting with our commencement series, welcome series. It's about 4 emails over 10 to 14 days. And then they get put into a nurture series. Maybe you talk about a story or a song, or you shine a light on someone, and then there's another story. So there's 4 emails in there. You can send that every week or once every 2 weeks. It depends on what's going on for you. Then you can go sell a thing. And each Rise series is only selling one thing. I'm going to talk about this in the selling section because we're almost done here. Then you can send them to another nurture series. Then you can sell them to another Rise series. So maybe Rise 1 is like introducing them to your merch store. Maybe Rise 2 is a bundle of CDs, et cetera, et cetera. And then you can go nurture 3, Rise 3. You can just have this going forever, especially if your stuff is, if you've got merch that's on demand or whatever. Okay. Content copy. I can talk about content forever. Like Chris said in the beginning, this is all about being a good copywriter, but really you don't need to be this incredible writer. You just need to really be you. And you needs to match the music. Like it all needs to be aligned. This kind of gets into the world of branding, which we touch on a little bit, but I'm going to put this out here. Y'all screenshot this because this will change how you write every single email for the rest of your life, whether it's to your fans or to a music supervisor. The job of the subject line is to get them to open the email. The job of the email, the copy in the email, is to get them to click on whatever link you want them to click on. The job of the landing page, like where they actually end up, is to get them to do the thing, buy the thing, listen to the thing, sign up for the thing, follow the thing, like whatever it is. One of the other biggest mistakes I see musicians do is they try to put their entire email in the subject line copy. So they're like trying to sell the thing in the subject line copy. And here's why that is just a terrible idea. One, they have no reason to open it if you give away everything in the subject line. You don't want to be mysterious and like trick them or manipulate them into opening the email, but you also don't want to say everything that's packed in here. Like, my album is releasing this Friday and the show is Friday night. That's an awful subject line. People are like, okay, cool. Why would I open that email? Right? One of my favorite subject lines, one of my most open subject lines was Dave Matthews and I playing the same day. And good Lord, I hope you all know who Dave Matthews is. Better not be that young. And, you know, when I opened it up, I said, he's playing in San Francisco on Friday and I'm playing in New York City on Friday. And, you know, I don't get cheeky like that all the time, but my fans were like, that's pretty funny. And, you know, you can be yourself in your subject lines, but you also want to be real. So that's a big thing. The job of the email is to sell them on clicking. Like, why do you want to click on this link? Why is this important for you to click on this link? And if you can really pull on their heartstrings and tell them what to expect when they do click on that link, when they click on the link, then wherever they end up is going to do its job. If it's your Instagram account and you're asking them to follow you on Instagram, your Instagram account better look awesome. They're not going to follow you, right? It's the job of that landing page, technically the Instagram account, if that's what you're asking them to do, to have them do the thing. Okay, cool. Off soapbox. Okay. Do you think you can write one email today, like rework your welcome email? Do you think you could? Whether or not you have your system set up. If you just get that thing written, and I very much encourage you, if you're just starting to think about this stuff, to put them into a Google Drive or create a folder and keep the text somewhere safe, because if something did happen or something got deleted on your email platform, you still have the original copy and you can just copy and paste into a new platform, right? So I would get organized with this. So all of your emails, Nurture Series, Rise Series, they all live in some organized folder. But could you just write one email today? I bet you could. I bet you could. Okay, so the last thing here, and this is a very short section, but it's so important. And then I'm going to get into your questions, as well as if you do want to do deep dive, I've got some cool things for you. So last thing for today is collecting. This is selling. How do you talk about selling to your fans without sounding like a car salesman? So we've taken subscribers so far along the journey that you're not able to collect. Not only are you able to collect income from your list is now helping you collect more new subscribers. So we're at that last part of the journey, right? Where we hook back into the little green people. It's the customer to the super fan. This is where we really get good at selling. And we get so good at it that you could send an email like I did last year to my fans. And my subject line was, should I do it? And I wrote it at 10 o'clock at night. I was like, I'm debating whether or not I should take out a full page ad in the Billboard Grammy magazine for my Grammy campaign. And everyone on my list knows that since 2004, I have wanted a Grammy nomination. Everyone knows. Super clear. Ask anyone in my life, what does Cheryl want? They'll be like, a Grammy nomination. You can ask my mailman. He knows. So literally, everyone knows this about me. And so I woke up the next morning. People were like, absolutely, you should take out a Billboard ad. I had 35 responses that were yes. And more than half of them were like, how can I help pay for it? And within 48 hours, they raised the money. I just put a PayPal button on my website and I send an email. I'm like, I got really good response. I'm going to see if you want to contribute and be part of this. Like, there's a PayPal button. You can pay literally whatever you want. And in 48 hours, they raised the funds for me. Like, that's how well they know me and were ready to contribute without me even. I did not have to run a fan funding campaign for that last year. Like, it was ridiculous. That's the goal, right? Is to have that journey, you've gone on it together, right? And you've come so far that these super fans are now like, this is like okay, cool. What can I do? It's a nice place to live. So I've already shared, these are the different things I've done with my list. So we don't need to go over that again. So Rise series, this is the clutch stuff here. You're going to focus your email campaign on one singular promotion, request, or sale. So that means if you have a Patreon and you're trying to get people you don't sell the $1 level, the $10 level, and the $100 level. You pick one of those. What are the perks? Why is that interesting, that one level? Same thing with a merch store. You don't sell your cap and your mug and your sweatshirt and the sheet music. You pick one thing and you talk about that in this series. So what is the thing? That's one email. You just tell them the facts about it. The second email is an invitation to purchase. Sometimes you have to show them how. Like when I was doing my billboard campaign, I needed people to purchase the album on iTunes, but iTunes makes it really, really hard to buy on iTunes. They send you right to Apple Music, which asks for a subscription. And people are like, am I buying your album or am I buying a subscription? So there's like workarounds. So I made some like screen share videos on how to show people how to buy on iTunes. So you might have to do that. You want to get personal. So this is a third email. Like, why does this matter? What happens when they purchase this? Why does it matter to you? The fourth email is testimonials or social proof, like quotes from press, other people wearing the sweatshirt being like, look at this merch I just got. Like you want to share and show people that they might be missing out on something cool. FOMO is very powerful. My FOMO gets very, very strong. And then you want to handle objections. So objections are reasons why people won't do the thing or buy the thing, right? Like if it's 98 degrees and it's summertime, maybe an objection would be like, I don't want to buy the sweatshirt. I'm hot. Or maybe it's like, I already have the CD, or maybe the objection is it's too expensive. So you can guess what their objections are. And over time, as you send these out, people will actually tell you what they are. And you can ask people and get good replies, but you want to handle them. And I like thinking of it if I'm talking to an aunt, you know, she's like, oh, it's 99 degrees out. Why would I get a sweatshirt? I'm like, oh, because it's at a discount. And then when it actually gets cold, you're going to be warm. You know, you get what I'm saying. And then the last email that you can send, only if applicable, is this is the last chance or cart closing or the discount goes away if there's any urgency. Sometimes there's not. Sometimes things are always available, but this might be a case for you. So I created something. I just wanted to have something to sell. So I made printable wall art. I literally went to Canva and took a couple of my lyrics and then I made them printable, like, you know, a normal 8.5 by 11 piece of paper that they can print. And then I also send a link to frames on Amazon. And so they just get printable wall art and they're all $3.99. And I sell a lot of these. It's so random. And it took me like 10 minutes to make, and it's digital. So people get a PDF and then they print it themselves. So this here is an email from my email templates for Patreon. And the subject line is listen to my mom. And I talk about all the testimonials, right? So this is a testimonial. And I make the last one from my mom, dad, spouse, or kid, and I change the subject line accordingly. So listen to my kid, listen to my spouse. And then I say, if my mom can't convince you to hop on this Patreon bandwagon, I don't know what else I can do. So this is what my templates look like. They're very personal. And all you need to do is insert. I tell you what to insert here, and it's all in brackets. So that's kind of cool. All right, so these were the 4 things we went over. I'm very, very close to bringing Chris back on. I went a little bit over, but so it's okay. This is important stuff here. So remember, we talked about the strategy. Like the strategy is the plan, your plan. Why do you want to take people on this journey? The technology, you want to give them a gift. You want to talk about it, and online and offline. And you want to start writing your email. You really only need that first welcome email to get going. You can always send broadcasts as you're creating the content. So you don't need all these series. Once they're written though, oh, it's so awesome. You can just be like, poof, I'm sending my whole list through a holiday series. Poof, I'm sending everyone through a Rise series. And then you can just go do whatever for the next 3 weeks. Commencement series, nurture series, Rise series. We talked about all this stuff. So I want to know, where is everyone? I've been talking a lot. Do you feel more comfortable sitting down and writing your emails? Yes? Yes, no? Give me some yeses. Are you happy that you stuck around? Because I see a lot of you stuck around and I'm so happy about that. This is the important one. Do you realize what an advantage you have in your career and your bottom line if you start to implement this stuff? Like anything, even if you just slightly think about how you write a subject line differently, you're in a better place. Like I promise you, you now have a leg up on so many musicians who are not doing this stuff. Like I promise you are better off than where you were an hour ago. Promise. Okay. And so of course the time was well spent, right? So the purpose of Nurture in a Nutshell is to connect. connect with your fans, tell your story. That is the connection series. Okay, so for those of you that want to do a deeper dive, I'm going to quickly go through what Rock Your Email List is, and then we're going to do some Q&As with Chris. Chris, do you want to come back on? Should I get you back on here?
Yeah, here I am. Hey,
here you are.
How's it going?
All right. Good.
Quick
do you have
question
anything
for everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to ask a really fast question. I was I learned a ton from watching this because I've never actually seen your whole presentation and stuff like that. So I took some screenshots and I wrote some notes down, and so that was super cool. But I had this really totally a side question very quickly. I was doing a fun little tech test. I was doing speed tests on the internet reception because mine went out, and I was like, what's going on? And kind of troubleshooting it every like 5 minutes or whatever. Can you tell me quickly if Cheryl ever cut out on you guys a little bit or froze? Just pop it in there. I'm just really curious to know. And then back to what I was just talking about. So while you were talking, Cheryl, I got this crazy cool idea. Was that, yesterday I was on the phone with a music supervisor friend of mine, and they said literally like, it's a shame when you get to know somebody and you think they're great as a musician, and you love kind of what they're doing, but their music just isn't up. They're not ready. Their music's just not there for sync. Right. And they were like, man, it's a drag because you get to know them really well. And how do you tell them like, your music's not cutting it or whatever, like that. Then I was thinking the same thing about what the two pillars are to get music into TV and film. One is you have to have the music set up properly. There's actually three pillars. Get your music, know what you're doing and what works and how to target and all these things, right? You got to have that. Then you have to connect with the music supervisors or the top licensing agents or top libraries. They're just as hard to get a hold of as music supervisors, the big ones. So then I was like, okay, you have to connect with them. That's what I teach, of course. The third pillar is actually getting connected with them, how you do that. And what you're teaching here is like invaluable to, I mean, I almost should have your course in my course. It was like, this is really incredibly valuable. Like that's the gap between your music. So in the Art of the Song pitch, we're launching our annual launch in January. And, they learn how to, get the music and all the ducks in the row and, get a vetting group and how to, and then pitching and stuff. And I put them in front of music supervisors, but what you're teaching here is incredibly valuable as like the connector, the in-between part. So I was thinking like you guys, those of you who are serious, and some of you who are thinking, okay, Chris, this year I'm going to jump on the Art of the Song pitch in January, we'll see you then. You would be really smart to learn as much as you can from Cheryl about how to connect with people, right? She's talking about fans and stuff. It works equally for everything. It works perfectly for supervisors and licensing agents and all that. If you got her training and then came into the Art of the Song pitch, woo, you guys would be unstoppable. So I already knew that kind of instinctively, and that's why I wanted to bring you on, Cheryl. We're very careful about what partners we work with. I don't want to just, I'm not here to bring people in to sell stuff to my list. I really care about my community. You're, of course, one of the golden people, and we love what you do, super value. But what really cemented during this presentation was how well those two things go together, and all your bases are covered, right? You get everything. So that's super amazing. So super great. Sometimes it was like drinking from a fire hose, but I know I've heard, of course, from your course and your training and stuff like that everything's so like step by step, and you're always so easy on people in terms of how to get from A to B, the linear thing you talked about at the beginning, which I think is amazing. So anyway, that was my spiel. And
you can watch all my videos.
What's that?
Half speed. You can watch all the videos at half speed too, which some people actually do.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And that can always be helpful for sure. So yeah, let's, what do you want to do? Jump into some questions and stuff?
Yeah, we can totally do questions. If anyone, do you want to hear about anyone want to do a deep dive and like hear about Rock Your Email List really fast and then we do questions, or we can do both?
I definitely want to, I wouldn't mind hearing about, Rock Your Email List, honestly,
okay,
now.
Let's do, I see some questions like Patty, Tom, I totally got you guys. Okay, I'm going to take it'll be like 2 minutes. I'm going to take 2 minutes. So hang with me here. I've got some slides. I'm going to go fast, y'all. I'm going to go fast here. But if you're watching on the page, not on the YouTube page, there's some buttons that came up that you can go explore if you want. But let me just give you the rundown of this. Like Chris said, it is linear. And so we're going to connect the dots. Oh, wait, you guys, I had this slide. This is totally my like bonus other things for email. Ready? These are my pro tips. Respond to all emails. Every time you respond to someone who's responding to you, you're telling the internet gremlins that you are not spam. And it actually is really good for your deliverability, which is a tech term that I get into in the course. But respond to all the responses. Growing your list is telling your people about it. I just have to say that again. Delete unsubscribed emails unless they purchased something for you. That has to do with deliverability as well. Segment your list based on user behavior. I don't want to get into that. Align social media posts with your broadcast. So if you're sending something out, like you've got some news that's a one-time, it's got something going on Friday, make sure that your social posts are also echoing whatever you're sending out in your broadcast. I do like to share news with my email list first, so they feel like they're the most special. And I can tell people on social media, hey, my email subscribers just got this cool news. If you want to know it, you can sign up here, or else I'll tell you tomorrow. But I always favor my email subscribers. Don't use the word free in your subject line. Apply tags only if you'll use them later. Some people go nuts on tags. If you don't know what a tag is, don't worry about it. And then keep the content coming. Okay. So I get this question a lot too, so I'm just going to answer it right now. I've done this presentation like dozens of times. And so here's my answers to questions that you will ask that you don't now have to ask. What's the good open rate? An open rate, it depends on the series. Welcome series in the high 70s. 70% of the people that get the email will open it. That's the number. The average broadcast is 25 to 30%. Most people that are in Rock Your Email List are aiming for the 40s. Click rate, 3% average, meaning the number of people that open the email, do they click on the thing? I aim for 9%. Industry standards tend to be 1 to 2%. And an unsubscribe rate is under 1%. If you're above 1%, you've got a problem with your content. Okay, there you go. So those are those details. So here we go. Details on Rock Your Email List. I'm going to go really faster because this is just for people that want to do a deep dive and are here already. And then we're going to do live Q&As, and I will stick around as long as you've got questions. All right, so it's called Rock Your Email List Deluxe. The Deluxe is because I've added in all of these templates, and I continue to add templates. I even have templates on how to talk to your audience when some crazy stuff is going on in the news, like social justice issues and pandemics. So this is the course that is designed to build, grow, and monetize your list. Period. End of story. That's what it does. It is a step-by-step approach to authentically, there's that word again, attract the right subscribers and turn them into paying customers. You'll dive into the world of providing more value for your fans, creating more long-lasting relationships, and generating more consistent income than you ever thought possible. It's very true. Okay, so there's 11 hours of videos. This is the meat and potatoes of the course, and it includes strategy and tech videos. So I walk through different sites, MailChimp, Kajabi, ActiveCampaign. We do sort of tech stuff. So you can see the insides of those programs. There are worksheets and cheat sheets, so you don't need to waste your time scrolling back through the course or looking for answers on Google. And then I've got all my pre-written email templates. This is, people send these out and they're like, oh my God, I just made $1,000 from that one email, blah, blah, blah. You'll be getting dozens of emails to promote your CDs, Patreon pages, engage with your fans, all sorts of different topics. There's also the community. There's a Rock Your Email List community. This is amazing, hardworking musicians just like you. They're also looking to do sync. They're also touring. Everyone's doing different stuff. But it's a great place to get ideas, plus regular access to me. And I do Q&As once a month. And people are like, hey, how's this subject line? And people are like optimizing their subject lines and doing cool stuff. And you can cross promote with people on my list and other people in the group. And it's like, you don't want to cross promote your email list to someone else that doesn't have an email list. So it's like, that's the place to go find people to cross promote with. So this is the course right here. The way I outline it, there is a cool acronym. It's STAGES, the stages of email marketing, which we sort of condensed today, which is we go through the strategy, we go through the technology, we do like deep dive dorky technology, like you get fully set up with the opt-in pages, the forms, all of that stuff. We talk about awareness, how to let people know about your list. And then we get into growing the list once you've gotten all the people you already know onto that list, a lot of different ways. And then we talk about engagement. This is where we create all these nurture series, how to set up the outlines and the content and content ideas and how to write those emails and not, feel overwhelmed by the idea of writing. And then we do a lot of talk about selling and different ways to sell and promote, because sometimes you're not selling. Like getting someone to sign up or to follow you on Spotify is not necessarily selling. So we get into that. Those are the modules. But don't take my word for it. There's 1 million people that have taken this course, 400 people, and there's 5-star reviews. I can read them if you want. Wow, that email is generating so much response. Email has been pouring in for 20 minutes after I hit send. You get it, right? Okay, cool. You're going to be very confident in attracting the subscribers and turn them into paying fans. Period. End of story. So there's a lot of videos, strategy talks, technology sessions. I'm going fast, y'all, so that we can get to your questions. This is what they look like when we get into the tech. Like I literally walk you through, here's what the code looks like. So that's fun. And then there's bonus example videos and coaching calls. So you're never going to feel alone or stuck, which is always really nice, right? Harriet said, I'm growing my list, getting good replies, good open rates. Facebook ads are generating new subscribers. That's one thing that we talk about a little bit. In general, the course has turned me on to so many possibilities I've not thought of, helped me redirect my career on so many levels. And before her course, she had 50 people. And after the course, she has 300. And I'm sure that's grown a lot more since then. There are worksheets and slides to get you organized. So you can look at all the slides. Here's some worksheets. And if you're a worksheet person, great, fill them out. If you're not a worksheet person, great. You don't have to fill them out because it's all in the videos. GT says, I'm loving this. For the first time ever, I'm getting a grip on who my avatar is. I also want to say that your presentation is super easygoing and expertly. All right, these templates, you already saw a peek of the templates, but they are ready to go. You just add in your own links. You never worry about what to send or how to sell. I also give you subject lines, and I tell you when to send it. So this is day 1, this is day 4, this is day 9. So you literally don't have to guess. And these are the series, some of the series: releasing a single, launching Patreon, inviting fans to host house concerts. There's a whole series on just that. Selling merchandise, selling tour tickets. Greg said, my automation is set up and active. I gained 50% more subscribers since starting, which is a really, really great number. And I did this research. So on Upwork, which is a place you can hire like virtual assistants, to send a direct email letter. This is all like copywriting fees. You could be paying $1,500 to $5,000 is the average fee to hire someone to write one email for you. And you're getting like at least 40, y'all. Or you could I went to Fiverr, and this guy is $10. So $10. But he said, I'm the guy you meet when you're in need of a great copy or content. So I don't think you would want to hire, even though it's only $10. So either way, you're getting like your money's worth with my templates. They save you dozens of hours and take away a lot of the overwhelm. It's all good, right? They'll change your career. It's a very bold statement I'm making here. And then, of course, you get the support in the community. So you test your subject lines, ask all the tech questions, you get motivation. And I am a big fan of sharing memes. And then you got the live coaching calls and all that stuff with me. And then Chris said, this group is awesome, which I feel like is all you really need to know, right? Do you need more? Okay, cool. So you get all this stuff. Insider deal. Oh yeah, there's insider deals, which is always fun. And then money. Okay, so we all know how expensive music stuff is. $20,000, $63,000 a year. And they don't talk about this. These are courses in business communication, and none of them are talking about email. Like still. But they're really expensive, y'all. Business courses are expensive. The cost of making a record, $5,000 to $25,000. The sad thing is that most people put that money into making the record, and they don't put the money into marketing the record, or they'll pay for PR that gets them a couple like good quotes in really small blogs that no one reads. So this is like the saddest. This right here is the saddest slide to me. CD Baby suggests budgeting $10,000 to make a record. A new guitar is $2,000 to $4,000. Like, we are spending money as musicians. So anytime you're like, I don't have enough money, like you're here, you're good. But that slide makes me sad. So people spend 138% more money through email than social media. So if you can really take that statistic on and own your email list, this course actually pays itself back in like very little time. So it's, all these courses, other courses, y'all know, they're $1,000, right? Hiring a copywriter, we found was $1,500, or you get someone with bad grammar. So this course, I'm like holding out here for the price. Oh, grow your list to 2,000 subscribers. Remember that it's $1 per subscriber per year. You'll be making $24,000 a year. So what's the shortcut to $24,000 a year? What's it worth? Right. It should be worth $3,000. It's not even $1,500. Y'all, this course is $899. And it's not worth what you pay for it. It's worth what you do with it. And there's a payment plan. Okay. So there's a button on the page that you just came from. Check it out. If you purchase while you're on this webinar, I'm going to do a free live coaching for the first 10 people that sign up. And y'all, I'm a trained life and career coach, and live coaching with me is like very powerful, like life-changing stuff. Just gonna say that. So that all being said, I am also throwing in 3 bonuses, and I'm just gonna jump to those slides. You're ready? The perfect pitch. This is my 8-step guide to pitch anything to anyone and get a yes. It's like a 20-minute course, and it's one of the most game-changing courses out there. The second bonus, this is all the great things people say about it, and I'm going fast because I just want to get to your questions, is this awesome talk about this is about the growth with Rick Barker. And we talk about online ads specifically to grow your list. It's a very cool live training. And this comes in a bonus bundle. And then the last one, Chris, you're going to like this because it's your friend, Michael Elsner, who made a video just for Rock Your Email List people talking about how to use email for licensing. And it's super, super duper cool. So he talks about how he uses email to get 10 to 12 licenses a month. So this is the third bonus that comes in your bonus bundle, and this will expire on Saturday. So you got a little time to ask some questions. But yeah, these are the 3 things you get with the course right now. It's $899. There's a payment plan. You can get started for just $249 and like dig in. So that's all the things. Thank you for listening to my presentation. And I'm here to like answer questions from Chris, from y'all. I'm reading the chat box here. Yeah.
That's awesome. I was literally thinking, wow, I could like pay $899 and be one of the first people in on the webinar today and get free training from you and not have to hire a copywriter for anything and save like $750 or whatever.
Yeah.
I might do that.
Yeah. Cool.
Very cool. So awesome, you guys. So let's, any questions, just hit us up. Obviously, Cheryl's going to be answering the lion's share of them here.
Yeah. Oh, Chris.
But I'll throw in my 2 cents when I can.
Okay, amazing. So I saw Patty's question. Can you expand on the concept?
That was me.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good now. Are you caught up? I see Patty's question on expanding on the concept of repurposed emails. So if you send out an email that's like, hey, I have this single that comes out this Friday. The single is about this story of when I saw a mermaid and then I fell off of a boat and then it's like a really cool story, right? So you can take all of that copy that you wrote and just take out the part that's the single comes out this Friday. And you can just put that into a nurture series, because nurture series are all about telling your stories, sharing about the songs. And you did a really good job in that email, the broadcast email. So rather than say, oh, I sent that once, the broadcast email. So if someone signs up for your email tomorrow, but you send the broadcast email today, the person that signs up tomorrow won't be getting that email. So how can they still get that cool story, right? So you repurpose it. You can put it into a nurture series that they will get eventually. So I hope that makes sense. Tom, I saw, had a question that said, can you do text-based emails in MailChimp? Yes, I'm not going to talk about specific platforms just because there's so many, but ideally you're doing more text emails, meaning there's not like graphics and formats and stuff, because it's like when you get an email from a friend that's like, hey, I haven't heard from you in a while. Here's some stuff that's going on. They don't have banners and graphics and stuff, right? Maybe they'll email you a meme if they're like me, but you want to make it feel really personal. So you don't need all that fancy formatting. So that hopefully will take away a little of the overwhelm of having to actually set up that email stuff, right? But that's a great question. So let's see.
Hey, Cheryl.
Yeah.
It looks like David said, I'm an online music educator and you've given me a ton of new ideas to promote my course.
Oh, yes. For those of you that are on my email list, my company that does this sort of stuff is called In the Key of Success. And you'll get emails from me because y'all are on this webinar. And you'll see I do this stuff in those emails. Some of my emails are short. Some of them are long and valuable. Some of them are like, hey, I think this will be great for you. And I give you an opportunity to sign up for something. Like I walk the walk here with both my musician list. I have 2 lists, my musician list and then my fan list. And I'm doing all of this stuff on both of these lists. So absolutely, David, like this is, I mean, hello, I learned from how to sell a mattress. So if we can talk about selling mattresses on email, we can talk about our music and our courses and all of that. So I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Let's see. I had just seen one. Yeah, David has to go write some emails now.
Tom has a good one. In spite of that, my interaction numbers seem to have gone down each time I send a newsletter. The bad word.
Oh. Oh, Tom, I saw that you had said that you sent out a newsletter and made like $4,000 in a week. Like, first of all, yes, email can do that. Even if you're sending newsletters that are, I mean, imagine if you were really focused in your call to action, meaning the thing that you're asking them to do, like that could have been like 8,000, who knows? But yeah. And if the engagement's going down afterwards, the people that didn't buy probably weren't really called to that. So there might be a way to really focus and figure out, and you can even ask them like, hey, I've noticed you haven't been interested in my emails recently. What's going on? Are you busy? What's going on? Like asking your fans questions in your email list, your subscribers questions is a great way to get those responses, right? To up the deliverability and tell the internet gremlins that you're not spam, but also it's a good way to just gather some data. I love running a good survey. It's great stuff to do, especially if you're in between releases or projects where you're like, I don't have anything to talk about. Ask them, let them talk. That's a great way to do that. I saw another Chrome extension. My guess around Chrome extensions that gather emails is it's gathering from your Google, your Gmail, and that's not an actual legal email list where people have opted in and said, yes, you can send me emails. So I would just be very careful of Chrome extensions. If you're not collecting emails through an actual form where people click submit, you want to be careful. And if you're sending any email, you can't just blind carbon copy people. They have to be able to unsubscribe. So I'd just be careful with that. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, if you can't see so there should be a link on the actual page, but wait, I can do a cool thing. Enroll. Look at that. A little course. I think this link will take us to there's sales page, but if you're watching not on YouTube, if you're on the page that came in your email link, that scroll down to the bottom, there will be links there. You can go to inthekey.co/email course, and that will be able to help you out as well. Sorry about that. I didn't even think to give you a little. I hope that helps, David. We've got a couple Davids. Okay, cool. He says thanks. Yeah, most important list is reviewers on local, national. So if you have a list, I've got this question a lot. Like if you have a list of people who are industry people, right? Like they're all music supervisors, or you have a list of press, or you have a list of whatever. Again, you definitely want to make sure that they can unsubscribe, and that it's very obvious that they can unsubscribe because you don't want to get in trouble for that. But you can absolutely use that for press releases. You're probably not going to be sending them through regular nurture series where they're like getting to know you and it's like constant email. They're looking for, what do I need? So you want to be addressing, this is where that knowing your ideal fan comes in, knowing your ideal subscriber. If that list is a list of press, then you need to know who is your ideal press contact. What are they looking for? What problem are you solving? Same thing with music supervisors. Do they give a crap that your dog had surgery? Probably not. Your fans might, but if you're talking about your ideal subscriber and that's a music supervisor on a list of music supervisors, then you want to really be catering those emails to what are they looking for? How am I going to solve a problem? You don't want to be adding to their inbox when they're rushing for that next deadline, which most of them are, right? But it's a really good point.
I got a quick question for you, Cheryl.
Yeah.
A lot of people, like I get people sometimes who show up for my workshops and then work with that, and then they come into the course later, and then they talk about, oh man, like I didn't realize, like I was missing all these details and stuff. What would you say in your course, like your class? What is the biggest thing that you think that is in your course that the nuances, because email isn't just like, oh, do this, do this, do this. I mean, anybody could do it, right?
Yeah.
What makes you a great copywriter in terms of the detail of it's like specifically, like the question is, why should I buy your course? I guess is what if pretending to be someone watching this, like what would be in your course that would make, sort of 10x my ability to bring in this kind of money and so on?
Yeah, a couple things that come to mind. The first, I'm going to say tech, time, and space. So when I forget my third point, say tech, time, and space. So the first is we sort of go those 6 stages: the strategy, technology, engage. We go through where you might be blocked. A lot of people don't go and write all their emails and create automation because they get blocked with the technology. So we blast that block. We literally step by step, we make sure that you have the forms and like the back end is all set up. So then there's no excuse to move forward to, okay, now I can write my welcome series. Once you have the welcome series written, it's like, okay, now I can go tell people about my list. And some people are really weird about, and their block is talking about themselves or selling themselves or sharing that they have a list. So we blast through that block. And then from there, it's like, okay, cool. Now I want to sell. I've gotten them warmed up. I've created this welcome email. I know the format of what needs to go into the welcome series, the 4 emails, because there's something very specific in each of the 4 that you want to send. And so we just keep conquering these blocks until you have all of these emails written, until you have all of the selling things set up and you actually get clear on what you have to sell. Most musicians have more to offer and more to sell than they realize. If you think of how many levels of Patreon, how many different merch things, how you can create a merch product for people that don't already have merch, we do something as simple as creating those lyric sheets, right? And so we go through anywhere where you might have a block, we blast through it. And then you're good when you can get to the next module because you've conquered that block. So that's the first thing, is just really starting with the blocks and that you've tried to tackle on your own, but you just haven't figured out what we just handled that. What did I say? Time. Oh, the space. The other thing. So you asked like, what makes you a good copywriter and like, how can you teach that? Because sometimes writing is just writing. Y'all, I don't love writing emails to my fans. Like I would rather be like making the music and stuff, but what's there for me is the end goal of that long, like my goal for the course and my goal for my own email list is to have these fans that stick around for the long haul. I'm in this for life, this music career. I know that about myself. I know that about my music and my creativity and just what drives me. So I want my fans to stick around for the long haul. So of course I need to keep them looped in. And so sitting down to write is just getting really clear on that bigger picture, sort of zooming out. I'm gesticulating a lot and I just realized I'm off screen. I'm zooming out for what I want and sharing that. But it's also leaving space for a little bit of mystery and not sharing everything. And I think what makes me a good copywriter is the clarity. Like I keep checking, what do I want them to get out of this one email? What do I want them to do? If there's something to click, then I want to make sure that I'm getting to the click. And maybe I don't need this whole story side tangent. That is great for another email. So if I don't try to cram it all in, which I think a lot of people do in their emails, and they feel like they need to explain themselves and sell themselves. And sometimes it's just, let's get clear. So that clarity is, you're going to get trained in clarity in this course. You just can't not. And then there was a third reason. What was the third word I said?
Tech and space, or I think it was like, but you
There's
already talked about tech.
There was something in the middle. There's something. Anyway, there you go.
Well, that covers it to me.
Oh, well, that
that's awesome.
Oh, well, the one thing I didn't say is that money. Like if you have a list, even of just 100 people right now, you should be making $100 a month. Like you learn that in the course. You do the course. It's like it takes you about 11. Some people do it in a weekend. Other people like watch through everything while they're driving, kind of like a podcast, and then go back to whatever they need. And you can always come back to it. You get lifetime access. I didn't say that, but you get access to it forever and all the updates because I'm constantly updating it. So you can use it however you want, but you're immediately going to start to see a return on the investment because you're going to grow that list. And then you're going to be able to use that as your own little like pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Amazing. Well, okay. One last question here, Cheryl. I see one from Laura. Do you use text messages to stimulate interest?
I don't, but I know that you can. It's not something that I want. My texts are my secret space for friends and family since everything else is so public. So I personally don't. And I don't feel like I need to. But that's not to say that it doesn't. It might depend on your avatar. If your ideal fan is a texter, that might be a great way to connect with them.
Yeah. And careful not to spam them, of course. So,
Of course.
yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Awesome. Well, Cheryl, I mean, that was amazing. I'm not cutting you off at all. You can go on as long as you'd like, but I just wanted to say that, you know, we got to the end of the questions, and what an amazing, cool thing that you're doing here. And I knew it deep down inside. I knew it, but that I'm really happy that I was able to bring you in front of the community. So guys, hop on if this is something that you want to know how to, how to do, which I highly advise. It took me a long time to learn it. I could have just taken Cheryl's course like 4 years ago had I known about that. I took a number of other courses that were way more expensive to learn how to communicate with you guys in the community, right? So yeah, this is an amazing opportunity, and Cheryl, this is happening till when? This
Sign up while we're still live, and you get my group call. Sign up before the end of the week. I think you'll get an email. Don't worry. I think it's either Friday or Saturday, and you get all the bonuses, the bonus bundle with the pitching and the licensing and the ads with Rick Barker.
Cool.
And who knows? There might be some other things we throw in, but yeah. So basically, like, if you're feeling the pull to this and you're like, I want to connect with my fans and I want to do it the right way, this is the only thing that is created specifically for musicians that does the complete A to Z for email marketing. And I've looked and I keep looking. There are a couple like light versions of things. This is the thing that you want to get. And it doesn't exist anywhere else, which is cool for me. But you have to, if you're feeling it, you just have to make the call for yourself. And I don't do any money back, any guarantees, other than I will work with you to see results if you're not feeling it, which 0 people have taken me up on. 400 people have taken this course and 0 people have asked me for money back or anything. So it's got a very good success rate. So once you're in, it's kind of like your career. You're in for the long haul, and you are now in my orbit, which means you say what you want. Someone said the problem with Cheryl is you say what you want in front of her, and then it's like, over her dead body, will you not get it? So once you're in my world, we go to bat together, and that's what we do in the Facebook group. And so I'm really, really excited to have anyone in and have you guys. I'm like a master manifester. I'm like a little magical. So you like come on, hang out in my space, and we'll do some fun stuff, and we'll connect with your fans and teach your fans how to be great fans for you. That's kind of the point.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Cheryl. That was absolutely incredible. And a happy Halloween.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
I guess I'm I got like a sundial around me, but like, yeah, I'm kind of in the white and black and the orange. I love it.
I got a 7-year-old, so
well,
it's everywhere.
I have no excuse. Thank you, everyone. And Chris, thank you so much for having me and introducing me to your audience. You're all so beautiful, and I believe in you, and I'm excited for you.
Very cool. Thanks so much, Cheryl. And thanks for everybody for coming out on a Tuesday to check this out. It's going to be awesome. For those of you jumping aboard, Cheryl's amazing. It's going to be incredible.
Thanks all. Bye.
See you later.